If you call 911 in Denver right now, expect to wait on hold. The city's dispatch center has fallen far below national standards for how long it takes to get to calls.
That can mean waiting several minutes for an answer in an emergency situation. 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan joins us with what the city is trying to do about this, Cole.
Alex, the director of the 911 center says wait times will improve, but that could take months. In the meantime, on nights like this, a Friday night in the evening, peak times, he says the wait times can grow to be unacceptable.
Thank you. Can you repeat that one more time to make sure I have it correct?
These are the first responders.
All right, well, we'll get somebody there as soon as we can, okay?
The first voices people in Denver hear when they call for help. But getting the call answered takes longer than it used to. Seconds matter in an emergency.
100%.
Are you answering the phones fast enough?
Absolutely not. No, we need to be answering the phones as quickly as possible.
Andrew Dameron runs the city's Emergency Communications Center, where the average 911 wait time is now 27 seconds. About as long as this story so far.
Even that is too long for anybody to wait when they're dialing 911 with a life or death emergency.
Denver has fallen below the national standard of 90% of calls answered within 15 seconds. Instead, only about 2/3 of the city's calls are answered in that time.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, but this is going to be a rough summer.
A rough summer, Dameron says, because of increased call volume and short staffing. He's got a class of 24 new hires who should be trained up by the fall.
It takes about 6 months to learn how to do this job. And so while we are trying to get those folks through training, unfortunately, we are still struggling answering the phones.
While dispatchers answer earlier calls, he says wait on the line. They'll eventually get to you.
If you hang up and call back, you get moved to the back of the queue.
Shorter wait times may be in sight, but not for months. And even then, he says, they won't be fully staffed.
The bottom line is we are hiring as an industry.
Starting pay is now $29 an hour, up from $20 an hour 3 years ago. But to cope with this summer, they're mandating overtime and paying double for that overtime. There's still a balance they have to strike, though, because this industry, that can lead to burnout. An industry already known for stress and burnout, 30% is up to 30% of the industry can turn over in just a year.
Yeah, Cole, this is a terrifying report to think that 1/3 of calls right now are not being answered in a timely fashion. I mean, seconds are everything.
Seconds are everything. They got 1.4 million calls last year, too. So there's a lot of calls, and think about 1/3 of them not being answered in that standard.
Well, all right, Cole, thank you.
Arrest warrants are out for the parents of 4 missing children from Centennial. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office says these kids, 4 to 9 years old, were living in a foster home. Their father, 47-year-old Howard Miles, picked the kids up last Friday for a weekend visit and never brought them back. Investigators think their mother, Clarissa Gardette, is also with them. The Sheriff's Office says the parents have a history of neglect and child abuse. Investigators think they might be in a gold Pontiac Grand Prix headed for Louisiana or Texas. If you have information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers.
The family of a teen shot and killed outside the Aurora Mall is pleading for answers about his death. On March 25th, someone shot 13-year-old Phoenix Day twice in the parking lot. Police say Phoenix's group of friends and another group of friends got into an argument inside the mall before the shooting happened. Detectives say they've executed several search warrants, including a person of interest, but they say that they need more information to be able to make an actual arrest. Phoenix's family is hoping somebody will come forward.
I will never understand why this happened to my son, but I do know that we deserve justice. I need to know what happened to my son. So please, if you've seen Phoenix that day at the mall or you know anything about what happened to him or who did this, no details are too small.
Today, APD released these photos showing several people they want to talk to about what happened the night of Phoenix's death. The reward for information is now up to $4,000. Call Crime Stoppers if you know anything.
More people accused of murder in our state are getting bonds. It's the result of a recent state Supreme Court ruling that first-degree murder defendants must be eligible for bond. Today, a judge called a quadruple murder suspect who already tried to flee to Mexico a, quote, definition of a flight risk. He set his bond at $75 million cash. Joseph Castorena is accused of killing 4 people at a home in Aurora last October, then fleeing to Mexico. Police arrested him in December. Before today, he was being held without bond. A judge in Denver set a $200,000 bond for the woman accused of beating her great-nephew to death, the back scrubber. Police say Susan Baffer killed 8-year-old Demetrius Wilson in June of 2022. Her trial is set for November.
In a highly unusual move, a Colorado judge has apologized to a defendant in court. That defendant is the woman who was hit by a train while in a police car. Before
Ureni Rios was hit by that train, police had pulled her over for a road rage allegation involving a gun, and she was still charged in that incident. But here's investigative reporter Jeremy Hahola with what the judge had to say.
The mind-boggling case happened 10 months ago in northern Colorado. Police pulled over Ureni Rios after a man claimed she pointed a gun at him during a road rage incident.
Keep your hands above your head.
Don't move. After they put her in a police car parked on train tracks, a train hit the police vehicle with Rios inside.
Profile was just hit by a train.
She survived with numerous broken bones. As she recovered, prosecutors still charged her with felony menacing for the road rage allegation.
Here's your gun.
Rios pleaded no contest to a lesser misdemeanor last week and got unsupervised probation.
If she does all the things she's supposed to, there's a lot of classes she has to do, then the case will be entirely dismissed.
9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson calls the plea deal a big win for Rios, who avoids a felony. He also calls what the judge did in the case highly unusual. We've obtained a transcript in which Judge Vicente Vigil gave a lengthy apology to Rios for the train collision. Judge Vigil said, in part, "It's clear to me that the system failed with respect to you, with respect to that. I hope things are going better for you now. And so I just wanted to express to you, I'm really, really sorry that happened. No one should be in that position from my perspective. Just incredibly reckless, negligent, stupid behavior, however you want to put it."
It's extraordinarily rare for a judge to apologize ever. Once in a while, on a dismissal on a case that should never have been filed, the judge might say a few words of apologetic nature, but like this is an unusual situation.
The police officers who arrested Rios that night are still facing their own criminal charges. A lawsuit Rios filed against them is still pending.
And quite frankly, it's the kind of situation that if you wrote about it in a book, no one would believe that the police officer would leave his squad car on a railroad crossing.
As Jeremy Hahola reporting, Rios continues to go through physical therapy for a broken leg, broken ribs, and a skull fracture.
Firefighters had to work all night to clean up after a fuel tanker flipped over in Evergreen. The crash happened last night on Kerr Gulch Road. The driver wasn't hurt. West Metro Fire says the main tank had 5 smaller tanks inside, so firefighters had to drill into each one to safely turn the truck upright. Took about 17 hours to clear the scene. Kerr Gulch Road is back open tonight. One of Denver's most recognizable bridges is getting some work done. The Spear Bridge, connecting I-25 to downtown, sees about 20 to 30,000 drivers every day.
And they're still coming because the bridge isn't closed, but the flow of traffic does look a little different during the work. It's the bridge with the giant green arches. It's kind of like the only well-known bridge in town. It needs new expansion joints, needs a new deck, and it's looking at new paint. This is a $17 million project that's being done in both directions, 3 different places along the bridge. And would you know, about half the project cost is that green paint.
The paint is really the frontline, item that protects that steel from corrosion. So while it does have the aesthetic benefits, it's also a key structural member.
The work over the South Platte and Little Raven Street portion of the bridge is going on now. Then the work will move to the railroad track side. The entire project will take until next spring.
Crews are still working to slow the Spring Creek fire burning in the western slope. The wildfire ignited in late June in the Grand Valley near Parachute. The Rocky Mountain Incident Management Team says it's grown about 200 acres since yesterday, reaching 3,200 acres or 5 square miles. Firefighters are working to separate the fire from drying vegetation. That fire is 37% contained tonight. Crews closing down some roads as firefighters work to put out the Devil's Thumb fire in Grant County. It stayed about 95 acres the past couple of days and is 30% contained. Waterboard Road and Devil's Thumb Trailhead Road are now closed.
The city of Littleton says it's going to cost $1.2 million to repair the collapsed culvert in the middle of Jackass Hill Road. It happened in June after our record-breaking rain. The culvert from 1985 had steel pipes and they're prone to corrosion. The city will replace those with more durable concrete pipes. The hope is to reopen Jackass Hill Road by the end of July, but rain could slow it down. Chris Bianchi, rain runs our lives right now. I feel like for weeks now, rain and hail have run our lives.
Yeah, it's just another soggy April evening for us tonight. The good news is we will actually flip the calendar over to July and more summer-like weather come Sunday. But until then, we're still dealing with some showers and some rumbles of thunder out here on the eastern plains, especially from about I-25 on east. Now, south of I-70, that's where we've seen the majority of our action, but we're getting some storms still around for us here on the east side of the metro area, including this little thunder shower out by the airport, Bennett on west through the east side of Aurora. These storms are zipping their way off to the east. They're weakening as they do so. That should just about do it for us here in the metro area for the rest of the evening. A few sprinkles still trying to cross the mountains and work their way into the metro area. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot more action. Maybe a few raindrops for the rest of the evening. But again, in terms of that chance for some showers and thunderstorms, I think we're pretty much done at this point for the metro area. Southeast Colorado, on the other hand, that's where we're still seeing some strong storms. Colorado Springs, some very, very rowdy storms out this way throughout the day today. But we'll see some of those shower storms push their way off to the east tomorrow. More storms, but drier weather ahead. I'll have details on that coming up in my full forecast.
Thank you, Chris. Today, the Regional Air Quality Council voted to move away from gas-powered lawn equipment and toward electric. The group says 9 counties on the Front Range have been out of compliance with air quality standards for years.
Pound for pound, gas-powered lawn and garden tools produce a shocking amount of pollution that contributes to asthma and other serious health issues. So phasing them out is one critical way that we as a community can tackle our dirty air problem.
They're considering a potential ban on selling new gas-powered lawnmowers and tools starting in 2025, and seasonal restrictions on the same type of equipment for both public and commercial use. Any of those changes would need to be approved by the State Air Commission. There's a long list of financial incentives already encouraging people to use electric lawn equipment. And 2 months ago, Democratic Governor Jared Polis signed a new bill approving a 30% discount on electric lawn equipment through certain stores. That starts in January. No more free rides in the I-70 express lanes. Tolls are starting soon.
RTD is getting ready for thousands of Swifties to descend upon downtown for the Eras Tour.
Threads, the new social media app, it's such a success that Twitter's owner, Elon Musk, is trying to shut it down. We are back in 60 seconds.